taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. I want to say to everyone, as always, you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And the man in, I don't know what that color is. It's not a green. I don't know what color.
Greenish.
Greenish.
I couldn't tell you either.
It's not a detailing night screen though.
Right, that's lime green. Yes.
Okay, there you go. What's up, Brian Knight?
But it's actually the Dragon's Den green. This is the shirt
I
was wearing.
So. Okay, the drag. Okay, all right. Represent.
Hey, good to see you as always, brother. For those that might not remember who I am, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. As I mentioned, I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies.
Things. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We have now passed 1,600 subscribers. We're not near the 20,000 of your platform, Dr. Tachi. We're way in the rearview mirror. Keep on subscribing. Really appreciate everyone, and share it out. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on our show. Please email me. dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Hit me up at, I don't know if that hit me up. That's contact me. Sorry. dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. And then finally, check out Indie Soup Media, independent content creators platform, 20,000 YouTube subscribers in the first 8 months. And there's a lot of these shows on there and other ones that I do. All right. I've been keeping these ladies long enough waiting. They've been so wonderful and behaving. So as we mentioned, there is a big need for Black mentors, male mentors in the city of Toronto. And we're bringing on two ladies to tell us why this is important. So we've got Station Frederick on Barbaro Bongoro of Big Brothers Big Sisters Toronto here to hang out with us this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How we doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's always good seeing the two of you.
Humbled. Station Frederick, you have a special place on the Morning Vibe. Do you know what it is?
Okay, is this my third time on this show?
Maybe
it is the third time.
Yeah,
okay.
but even more than that.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, come on. You don't.
I don't think she even knows.
For this.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. I don't think she knows. So Ryan, tell her.
You were our first ever guest on this show when we started. When did we start? 2022?
I've lost count. But the most important thing is that yes,
so over
you were
200 conversations later.
You are number one.
I always number one.
There we go. There we go. Well, good morning, ladies. It's a real pleasure to have both of you on. First things first, if you can just share a little bit about your background. So, Miss Frederick, go first, because the last time you were with us, you weren't where you are now. So there needs to be some updates.
Absolutely. For about 8 years, I was the proud executive director of Western Frontlines Center, which was or is a youth center in the Western Mount Dennis area. One of the poorest ridings, not just in Toronto, but across Ontario. I took that organization when it was on the verge of closing, and we were serving about 100 youth at that time. And when I left, proud to say it's a $5 million organization and serving over 1,500 youth, not just in Toronto, but across Canada. And really, really impactful work, which is around addressing the pressing needs of Canada's most vulnerable children and youth. Now, in the same spirit of me telling young people to follow their dreams, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Toronto has always been a dream of mine to work for. So while I was very comfortable at Frontlines, I saw this amazing opportunity to become the president and CEO of this 111-year-old organization that has a very simple but also impactful mission, which is to ignite the potential of young people to allow them to thrive through mentorship. And so I'm now the proud president and CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Toronto.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Before we get to Barbara, in regard to that process, did you approach them or did they approach you?
I approached them. I saw the job posting, and I shared this on Friday, but I literally said in 2016 that I was going to take this job at a very small organization. I was going to make it grow to scale, such that when the opportunity with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Toronto come up, I will be well positioned to apply for it and will be the successful candidate. I said that in 2016.
Wow.
And look where I am. So very strategic in my career plans.
Wow. Well, I'll just add to that, everyone. Dreams don't have an expiry date.
Valid. Yes.
They don't have an expiry date.
Yes.
Well, Barbara, you have your own story. Share it. Well, share it up.
I don't know how I can follow that, but
No, don't follow it. You carve your own lane.
Of course. So yeah, I started this journey actually with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto back in 2019 as a placement student here while I was completing my bachelor's in social work. So I kind of started that journey there and got hired in 2020, right when the pandemic happened. The initiative was just so important. We had a high level of youth in need, and since then, I just stuck. So I completed my master's while working here and did a lot of research on the lack of mental health awareness around Black folks, specifically folks who are from the West and Central Africa, and the impact that has on their parents as well as young adults. And that really continued to drive my passion to work and advocate for Black youth. So that's really where the advocacy piece came into play. And originally started as an intake worker at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto. So that's just enrolling families, volunteers, all of that good stuff. And a lot of the times we kept hearing stories from mothers about the need for Black men. And so that's really where that stemmed from. I have a long trajectory here. Went to do oversee the enrollment and assessment team for a bit, and now in a new position, which is manager of community partnerships and anti-Black racism initiatives here at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto. So really working with the community engagement team, being boots on the ground, seeing how we can support the communities of Toronto and really advocating for that, and also just recruiting as many volunteers as we can, while also ensuring that our space is brave for folks who are part of the African Caribbean countries and as well as staff. So just making sure that we're having all of the beautiful pieces a part of the African diaspora and to include it into our work.
Wow.
Excellent.
Stick me with a fork, I'm done. The rest I can leave now. What? So, Station, I want to ask you a question, a conversation piece. How is it to have someone who has the evaluate experience and the passion of Barbara with you?
It is absolutely amazing. So Barbara, can I share the little piece between
Sure.
us?
Yeah.
So Barbara came into my office, I think, yeah, it probably was 2 weeks into the job. Mind you, I'm only a month and 5 days into the job. But 2 weeks into the job, Barbara came to my office and we had such a great conversation, lots of laugh. And then Barbara asked me, she said, would you be my mentor? And I just, if this is not the work of what I do, then I don't want to be doing this work. So having such a phenomenal like young woman even see me as a mentor, because she's making her own strides in the community, doing great work around anti-Black racism. So it makes my work a joy, having someone who's working inside the organization and outside the organization to champion this piece around anti-Black racism.
And Barbara, you're so smart to ask that question, because I remember going into Station's office, like, listen, can you mentor me in this whole nonprofit space? Listen, she is the blueprint of how executive directors, CEOs of organizations should be operating. So well done in seeing that. And so now, you stepped into Frontlines, and it was in a space that needed a lot of rebuilding. Now you're stepping into Big Brothers Big Sisters, definitely more established. But I'm curious, because when you first step into organizations, you kind of in a like observing mode, and I'm curious what you're seeing that now this call out had to be made to Black men. Like, why weren't we involved? Like, what are you seeing that might have been keeping us out?
Yeah, so I think in sort of doing an analysis of the organization, and Barbara's team have done great work in the Black community. So working with groups like C for Young Black for Professionals or Naya Center for the Arts, and doing that type of recruitment. I think I have a very guerrilla type marketing strategy, which is very different from sort of corporate type of marketing. And so I am just going to say what needs to be said, which is we need Black men to support our young people, because there is a huge wait list of young people. I did a post on Black Toronto in regards to that we need Black mentors. And the number of inquiries that I received was phenomenal. I want to thank the Black community for reaching out. But two things that really sort of hit home for me. One mom commented on the post that said, as a mom of the 150 Black kids on this waiting list, thank you for doing this. And then another mom said that her child waited so long on our wait list such that they transitioned out of the program, never getting a mentor.
Gotcha. And
that does not sit well with me. If the last thing I do in my tenure, however long this may be, 5 years, 7 years, it is my goal that no child is on our wait list, that there is a mentor that is ready, is trained, is available to support our Black youth, because our Black youth deserve it. Mm-hmm. All youth deserve it. Our Black youth particularly need it. And so that is the difference, where I say, okay, we need to change our strategy in reaching out to our community. Like, you need to tell our community, Black and white, what is the issue. Mm-hmm. You can't put nice pictures on social media and for people to realize that there's a need. You need to tell people that there is that need. And so I think that is some of the shifting and the change that I saw.
And I'll tell you, because when I saw the post, it felt like, hey, wake up. Like, because I didn't know that the wait list was that long or that big. And so seeing that, and you realize, like, you hear of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and you're like, okay, they're good, you know, they're big. And our company, we work with them as like volunteers to do car wash fundraisers before. So you think everything's fine, but sometimes you need to be told, like, hey, this is what's needed. So now with the Black men reaching out, would you say there's been enough outreach that we can start chipping away at it? Or how do you feel like that response has been to actually like cover the shortfall?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, we have had, and maybe Barbara can speak to the number of how many inquiries that we have had. Um, and she can also probably speak on, even when somebody makes an inquiry, the chances of that person following through with the application process and then waiting to get that match, there is a sort of retention or a fall off, a drop off sort of rate. And so we need to go high in our numbers in order to reach the target. But I'll let Barbara sort of answer some of those pieces because she has really been on the ground for a very long time to speak about, what the inquiries and what we've seen in terms of our rate, our drop-off rate.
Mm-hmm. So typically on a regular month-to-month base, we get about 100 inquiries, which is a great number. However, the number does drop post Big 101, which is our information session, as well as during the process. Also, the folks who are applying tend to not be a part of the Black community. So that's also where the gap is, knowing that about 60% of the youth, so that's youth who are Black identifying or mixed race youth, are a part of the Black community and are really looking for bigs who look like them, who've gone through similar life experiences that they've been through. So that's really where we're seeing the gap in that area. So Stations Post did a great thing, and we did get a lot of number of inquiries come back. And we're just hoping to get more and more folks. So we're pushing that initiative in 2025. We're going to continue pushing for more Black men to see how much it can impact a Black youth's life, right? Last year, we launched our first Black youth mentoring program, and we launched it in collaboration with Afrocentric Alternative School. So we were able to service about 40 kids at that school. We divided them into two sections, so the boys and the girls, and you really see the impact and how much that touches the youth there. And just for someone that looks like them, they advocated for a curriculum that resonated with them. So we usually were presenting them with our impact program, which is just our typical boys or girls empowerment program. But they wanted something to their heritage that connected to the Sankofa, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And that's what really builded our curriculum. So this ask here is like, yes, we get numbers in volunteering. There is a drop off, but what we really need is Black folks to step in and really support the Black youth that are strictly in need right now in the community of Toronto.
Okay. We've got questions now, and I have questions. So, you're going to be here for a few minutes if it's okay. So there's a lot of good questions here. So let me ask, what is the overview of Big Brothers Big Sisters and its mission? What is the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Sure. Barbara, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, of course. So essentially, our mission is building thriving communities by empowering lives through mentorship. So we believe that stepping in and being an additional positive adult can really help a youth attain all their fullest potential. So that's really what we strive here. We believe that a lot of the youth in the city of Toronto may have 1 or 2 positive adults in their life. And by adding another one that is consistent, there for them, a hearing ear really can help them just reach the stars. So that's really what the work we do here.
All right. Another conversation piece. What impact has it had on the lives of young people in Toronto, especially within the Black community?
Yeah. A big piece of it is some folks may have been in a space where they didn't know that they were able to graduate or even able to receive bursaries. So through our programming, we have a lot of opportunities where some of our kids are able to apply for grants that will support them in post-secondary education. So some of our Black youth have been able to receive those bursaries and has really impacted their trajectory. In addition to that, it expands possibilities. We know that a lot of the youth in our programming are only able to see the 4 streets or the 4 corners of their community, right? The streets where they live in. So through this programming, matching them with a mentor, they're able to expand that possibility, being exposed to new activities. So some of them go to hockey games, basketball games, football games, all of that good stuff. And that's really what our programming allows, is the possibility to expand, also to share power. So ability to know that maybe I grew up in a space where I wasn't able to advocate for myself or really have insight on what I wanted to do. But in a mentoring relationship, a mentor is there to really nurture that and expand your possibilities and really direct you in the right trajectory. We've had matches that have connected together, and a youth might be like, hey, I'm into X, Y, and Z. And the mentor has a connection and is able to connect them together, which really develops that youth to see beyond what they initially thought they could achieve.
Absolutely. I was just going to add that, when we look to as well, I was able to sit in on a really great presentation from our manager of evaluation and show that with the intervention of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and I use the word intervention, we're more sort of a preventative piece, that our young people, Black and racialized youth, when they're involved in our program, have better mental health outcomes than their peers. They show less likely to be engaged in violence, showing better outcomes in terms of employment, succeeding at school. Because for our intervention, it is about supporting that young person and their guardian, as well as training these mentors in looking at those 40 developmental assets. What are the key things that young people need to succeed in life, and ensure that this wraparound approach is supporting the youth in all areas of their life. And so that is, I think sometimes people don't have an understanding of the organization in the sense of the full wraparound support that we provide for the families and for the mentor to be able to do that work with the young person.
I've got another. Well, we got some. I'll better get the audience get some questions on here because they'll leave us. So first of all, Frequency of Promotion says congratulations to you, Ms. Frederick. Also, he has a question: are there any prehistoric partnerships that your organization has? If not, what organization do you think should be aligning with your organization to fill this gap?
Great. So I will let Barbara answer the first part, and then I will answer the next part of what are some of the partnerships moving forward.
Yeah, of course. So this year has really been a stride for partnerships. So in the past, we weren't having a lot of partnerships, diverse partnerships, I would say, primarily within the Black community. So the team as a collective has worked really hard to build partnership with folks who are part of the Muslim community, as well as folks in Regent, in the west end of the city, really connecting with them. So we have like Rexdale Community Health Center, the spot up in Jane and Finch, and a few spots as well in the Daniel Spectrum office. That we've connected with to really try and see like, how can we support you and how could you support us in attaining both of our missions in Toronto. But with Station coming on board, it's going to go full force moving forward, really connecting with folks who are serving or having relationships with Black youth who are ages 18 and up is really what we want to partner with. And I'll let Station kind of talk a little bit more on that.
Yeah. So I am very much interested in looking at partnerships that meet the need, particularly with volunteers. So if it's looking at ACBN? Are there mentors, Black men who are entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders within organizations who want to mentor a young person? Looking at sort of affinity groups within organizations. So whether it is, for example, the Black Employee Network that is part of TD Bank, it's reaching out to them. So really looking at who do we want to target to support our young people, and being very strategic in who we are reaching out to become mentors. And I could think of many different sort of communities. There's the Black Founders Network out of University of Toronto, looking at programs at DMV. I was at an event and was able to connect with Isaac, and being able to say, can we reach into your network, whether it's the Black North Initiative? Being very, very strategic on who we are reaching out to ensure that we are getting a group of individuals who are able to support our initiative.
All right. Another conversation piece that I have is, how does the mentoring program work, and what does a typical mentor-mentee relationship look like?
Amazing. Barbara, I'll let you take that piece, and I'll answer the second piece. So you talk about the process and that those elements.
So our process is quite linear in itself. So you would go ahead and submit an inquiry form, and then from there you would book yourself into a BIGS 101. So our BIGS 101 is our information session. It's an opportunity to hear about who we are, the impact that we have on the youth in the city of Toronto. Who are the youth that are coming into our program, as well as all the programmings that we have to provide at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto. So we have an array of programs. A lot of them are in community as well as in school programming. So we're always looking for opportunities for volunteers for both areas. And then once you have completed that, you will say that you're interested. You will send in your application. From your application, you'll meet with a wonderful intake specialist at our organization, and you'll kind of just talk about what it is that is driving you to mentor. What's the need? A little bit about yourself. And then from there, there's just kind of like things you have to submit. So references, completing a vulnerable sector. And once that's completed, the wonderful team will go over all of those elements, and then they will provide you an update on your file. And once you're ready to be matched, they'll also provide you an update on the mentor that they will match with you. Typically, when we're looking at matching, we look at lived experiences, proximity, some of the strengths that the big has, as well as the strengths that the little has, as well as interests. So if you're into basketball, baseball, whatever it may be, we want to match you with a little that might have similar interests as you, extroverted, introverted, whatever it may be. We look at all of those details to ensure that we're picking the right mentor and right mentee to be in a relationship together. Mentorship is unique, right? So all mentorship relationships do not look the same. So one relationship might differ from another. So that's really what it is. But all we say is just be consistent, be there for a little, hear their needs, and connect with the staff at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto. If there's a question you don't know how to answer, we have amazing staff there that's always able to help you and step in if you're experiencing any challenges or need additional support. So that's really how the process goes.
I was curious, how long would that timeline be from inquiry to matching? Or usually? So
typically, we say there's no concrete time frame, just due to the fact that there's specific aspects that have to come in. So your vulnerable sector, how long does that take in to come in? Making sure that you've completed your training, as well as provided kind of your references. But typically, it would take about 3 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, we have many different programs within our organization, but I think, much of what we see on our wait list is those who are looking for that community one-to-one mentorship. And what we ask in terms of a commitment is typically 8 hours a month to be shared with this young person. And so, people can decide if it's, 2 4 hours, whatever it might be. But it's more about consistency, because if a mentor is not able to meet that full 8 hours, but they are consistent for 6, we are open up. We really want for the mentorship to be one where a young person knows that there's somebody who will show up for them, because there's many people in their lives that have not shown up for them. I know for me, when many years ago in my career, and I say this with a pun, and when I was on the front lines, but I wasn't actually at front lines then, but I actually used to go into the prison, the detention center at Roy McMurtry. And for many of the young people, it was just that somebody showed up. I showed up every single week
100%.
for them, and so that was important. And I cannot tell you how satisfying it was. And it was sort of a very weird place to be, that I'm going into prison, and I don't want these young men to be in prison, but I got satisfaction that I knew that I was able to be there for them. And so, if people are wondering about time, think the sometimes the personal benefits of mentorship on the mentor is also quite impactful. So, I would encourage people to reach out and to work with the team to find the right sort of opportunity to support our young Black people.
I want to ask, why is there a specific need for Black male mentors?
Because there's Black boys on our list that have actually stated that they want a Black male mentor. And so, you listen to your target audience.
Right.
And so that's what they want. And that's what we need to find for them.
Okay, I just want to get to some quick comments. And I know he probably typed the wrong key, but Frequency Event Promotion says, I like what you are sharing. Now, I know there shouldn't be a question mark after, but that's what he's saying. And then Mignon Camp says, I found that disability organizations that are serving Black community are small in numbers, and that it has clients bouncing around to organizations for supports. Mm-hmm. What are what unique challenges from both of your lenses do Black boys face in Toronto that mentorship can help address?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll first start off by saying that a lot of the Black youth who are accessing our service are coming from a single parent household. So typically that is led by a female parent. So that lack of representation is really impacting some of our youth. Also, the aspect of a lot of parents have mentioned, what do our youth really doing between the hours of 3 to 6 when the parent is at home, right? And the importance of having someone there that is really steering them in that right direction. So that is some of the challenges that I have been noted aware of. In addition to that, a lot of the youth that are coming in our program, so this is kind of an array of things, are coming with ACEs, which is known as adverse childhood experiences. So this is kind of a tool that looks at some of the experiences that really can impact the well-being of a youth. So it talks about the loss of a parent, a caregiver. It talks about bullying, experiences of bullying, immigration status, and so forth. And all of the not having an additional positive adult in your life or someone that's there consistently to support you can really be linked to chronic health problems, mental illness, substance misuse, and other issues as well. So that's what we're noticing within just youth as they're coming in, especially post-pandemic. A lot of the youth that are accessing our services are having higher needs. So needing an additional support is really necessary right now.
Yeah. And I would say as well, I think of there's mentorship, but what is the end goal of mentorship? And how can we build the internal assets of our young people? So if a young person, for example, is struggling with school, can a mentor help to sometimes sit down and do homework? Though we don't say that they're tutors, but it's ensuring, hey, have you completed your homework? If someone is saying that I am looking for a job opportunity, can a mentor say, well, I know someone, I can connect you with this person? It's about building that young person's social network and connection so that they can be able to navigate through different systems, right? So our young people, yes, they have what Barbara mentioned around those adverse childhood experiences, but we also do a deep dive in terms of some of the internal assets, the external assets, where some of the deficits, where some of the positives that they have in this, and how can we sort of intervene and provide some sort of guidance in these areas, with that goal that our young people are going to have better mental health, they're going to exceed in school, they're going to be more employed. Those are the things that our intervention does without it being come here and sit down and write a resume in a group setting. It's having that one-on-one person who can provide that guidance, which is absolutely phenomenal when you can say, I have somebody that I can go to get the need, and that person is my big brother, that person is my big sister, that person is my big sibling. Because we know, of course, there's the pieces around intersectionality and some people not sort of ascribing to certain identities. So we said it's also that piece around having that big sibling. We also have something called big couples, where it's a man and a woman, or a man and a man, whatever it might be, saying we're coming together to support a young person. There's also something called big G's, which is grandparents coming together, seniors that would be doing that mentorship. So we see that it really takes a village in supporting a young person.
No, I like you just sharing all those different programs. That just increases the availability, or the pool to help out our young people.
Yes.
Really good stuff. So what are the benefits for mentor and mentee from your lens?
Barbara, you want to answer that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned earlier, benefits, it's an array of things. So the opportunity to expand your possibilities for mentees is really being able to get out of what you're known of. So leaving the 4 blocks of your community, learning new things, also learning the possibility of sharing power. So being able to talk about what are your needs. A lot of the kids that we've noticed nowadays are shy, not really wanting to speak up about what they would like to do. So in a mentorship relationship, you're able to really tell your mentor, hey, I want to do this, or a mentor will nurture that possibility for you and being there for you. For a mentor, it is just being a part of a youth trajectory. A lot of mentors, we've gotten feedback from them is like, I've seen him grow up into a man. And knowing that you were there to see step by step is really touching. I remember, so last year we supported with the start of the Black Youth Mentoring Program. And I remember walking into that room and seeing those youth, they weren't the biggest fan of us. It's okay, having a little side eye here and there. But then eventually you start to build that connection with them. They're anticipating and can't wait for the next week for you to come back. And what was so fulfilling for me was seeing the recap at the end of programming. What are the things you learned? What did you love from this mentoring relationship? And finally seeing them graduate grade 8 was so touching and heartfelt. So knowing that you're leaving a lasting impression on a youth is really a warming aspect. For myself, I grew up in a space where not many people look like me. And it was really hard for me to connect with my peers. And when I finally, engaged with folks who had similar experiences, similar stories to me, it really made me feel like I belonged in society. And that's really the aspect of what mentorship is letting your youth know that they belong and that I'm here to help you reach your fullest potential.
And I'm so curious. I'm sorry to go back to this drop off of men that start the process and then don't finish. Have you thought of maybe they need a mentor? Like, what's the community of the Big Brothers like?
Okay, I'm gonna put Ryan's email address up after
No,
that.
I'm curious. Like,
not just joking. I'm just joking. No, I agree.
Along, right?
No,
Like,
I agree with you, because one of the questions I was
Yeah.
going to ask is, what reasons do men sort of push back, saying no? Do they give any reasons for not going through?
Yeah. So let me just say this. It's not just a Black men issue. We have dropout rates from many communities that are not, able, or many individuals from the various communities that drop off. So I think some of the reasons is that people may not be aware of where their life will be in a year from now, 2 years from now, and so they don't want to commit because they don't want to let down the young person, right? People may have a lot going on in their lives, and so with that, people feel, okay, I don't want to move forward in it, because we're really asking you to make a commitment into somebody's life. And so I think that is piece. And when the organization did some research, both in Scarborough and in Regent Park, when people are struggling to survive in Toronto with the high economic challenges that we're facing right now, and when people have to work 2 jobs or 3 jobs to make ends meet, they may not be able to find the time to volunteer. And so those are some of the pieces where, we realize that volunteering is becoming much more challenging, particularly for certain demographics, because people are just trying to survive in this economy. And so we as an organization also have to think about how are we changing and pivoting to meet the needs of our participants, but also the needs of our community, to make sure that they're able to mentor. I saw a question in the chat, and I just wanted to make sure that it is addressed. We serve youth between the ages of 7 to 16. You can, once you're 16 years old, you are able to still continue on in being able to have that mentor once you are at 16. But if you can't enter the program at 17, 18, etc. So, when I mentioned that there was a young person who transitioned out of the program, the person had reached that age where they no longer fit that 7 to 16 age category.
Mm-hmm.
All right, another conversation piece. How do you, from both your lens, how do you feel the lack of Black male mentors affect the broader Black community in Toronto?
Barbara, you want to answer
that? Yeah, of course. How it affects the broader community of Toronto is that, our Black youth will be our tomorrow. So if our Black youth aren't getting the support that they need today, it really will impact the trajectory of what our Black communities will look like. As Stacia mentioned, we know that a lot of young adults between the ages of 18 and up are having their own challenges. We actually did a phenomenal research up in Rexdale and Jane and Finch with youth between the ages of 18 and up, and seeing what is preventing you from supporting Black youth. And primarily most of the participants were Black folks. And a lot of it was the challenges that Station had mentioned. And it shows that if some of these youth had that intervention earlier, would they have these challenges that they're experiencing today? So that is really what we want to have, is an impact on these youth. We want to have them sitting on shows like this 10 years from now, talking about, I had this mentor that did X, Y, and Z. Mentorship is long lasting and really strives youth to attain everything that they can. I don't know if I'd be where I am today without the mentors who have come into my life, right? I think that is the opportunity of analyzing, is that mentorship is life-changing, is life-lasting. We have mentors and mentees 20, 30 years post that are still in connection today, have attended each other's weddings, graduations, the birth of a child. I think that's really the important piece, is that mentorship builds lifelong relationships. And the teens of today, the Black youth of today, need that, so that we're creating a better tomorrow for the Black community.
Okay, got a question here from C Nurse K. Says, morning all. Just wondering if there is a hybrid model where mentors can connect virtually and in person, i.e. virtual check-in between in-person meetup.
So prior to the pandemic, during the pandemic, we had a virtual option, but as we are going back into post-pandemic effects, we actually realized that in-person connections really had a deeper relationship, deeper impact on our youth. You are still able to connect with your youth post meetups, maybe send them a quick text, seeing how they're doing and all of that good stuff. But we really want that one-to-one in-person relationship to be built.
Also, we have here from Frequency Event Promotions, is there a formalized budget for mentors to effectively plan outings with their mentees, i.e. attend baseball game, basketball game, comedy show?
Yeah. So at this current moment, there isn't, but this is absolutely something in my 1 month that I am looking at carving out for the future. In the interim, we have really great connections. There's an organization such as Kids Upfront organization that gives tickets to basketball games, to the art gallery, to the Nutcracker, and so we always put that out. We actually just recently launched an app where we can send out information about different outing opportunities. Also, we provide mentors with a blog where they can, where we itemize different things that they can do with their little. But absolutely, we are working at developing out sort of a process and a plan to support in providing funds for those outings.
Very cool.
Roger Dundas says, how can we mentor? I'm always available and can find other Black men to participate.
I will send
Always
an email to
available,
Roger. I will send an email to Roger. Absolutely around this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that Station and I, we've been working on some info sessions or webinars that'll explain the process. So see how Roger put always available? We'll see if he shows up to that initial info session.
Oh, he's here. Roger doesn't have to. Roger can just email me.
There
Roger,
you go.
Exactly.
There you go. There you
Big
go.
101 is on, when's the next one? December 12th. So Roger,
okay, well, make sure you give me the particulars so we can promote it on the platform.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
And we do have an event in February called the Game Changers Initiative, where we have a number of Black men who would be on a panel, and I'll probably reach out to Ryan around that initiative, and Dr. Vibe, just around us being able to bring the community together, Black men in a space. It's a free event. There will be food where we will talk about mentorship. And we'll talk about the benefits, and again, providing details of how people can get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Toronto. So this is an initial first, but the Game Changers, there would be, much more staff on site to answer individual questions, to sign you up on in our inquiry form to take you through that process. So there's a lot that is happening, again, to make sure that we are recruiting Black men to support our youth.
All right.
I was curious,
Go ahead.
there other signature events that Big Brothers Big Sisters Toronto does? I remember Peel used to have the golf tournament and the bowling night. Are there
Right.
signature ones that you already do?
Yeah, so we have our typical fundraiser, which is called Big Night Out, and that's our gala. We are also planning another event to really mobilize the community to come out, and that's something that we're looking at in August, September of 2025. But right now it's our big night out. And again, there's the Game Changers event that is happening February 20th. Barbara, before she even knew me, decided to have it on my birthday.
Double the reason to come out.
Send me the
Yes,
information.
give me that as my birthday gift.
Yes.
Is let the Black community come out for the youth of Toronto. So that will be my great gift.
Well, send me the information sooner rather than later. I can time block that. I'd be happy to add positive value wherever I can. Oh, actually, I have a question. What are the ideal qualities you're looking for of a mentor?
Yeah. So for our mentors, we're just looking for someone who is caring, consistent, and dependable of an adult. So a provider of knowledge, guidance, and support. So someone who wants to offer that and reflects the diversity of Toronto. So that's typically what we're looking for in a mentor, someone who's also 18 and up. And has the time. So as Ryan mentioned earlier, like flexible time schedule, we're looking for folks that are able to put this into their day-to-day week and provide support for our mentees.
Can you share a success story?
Yeah.
I don't think you have many of them. Pick one.
I can share a success story, but I can also share a direct quote from a big sister in our community-based one-to-one program. So she mentioned that her favorite moment has been seeing my little's confidence grow over the years. Every time I see her, I feel she's coming into her own voice. And the past few times, she's really shown that through her conversations with me. So we always have amazing testimonials that our mentees and our mentors are sharing with us, and really talking about how they've seen their mentee grow and the impact that they've had on that growth. If you want to know more success stories and you really want to hear about the impact from a big and a little, I do encourage folks to go onto our YouTube. We have our annual videos there that show and encompass the nature of mentoring from both angles, the mentee and the mentor.
Nice. So as we start winding it down, what is one thing you wish more people knew about mentorship and its impact, especially on young Black boys?
As I mentioned, I'm just going to keep saying it, is that mentorship is life-changing, right? It only takes one person to really change the trajectory of all youth, right? Just coming in, being a positive adult, and helping our youth thrive and reach their potential is what mentorship is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything else you want to close with?
Yeah, I'd say, I'm teasing Roger, but it's all love. But it's really because a call out has been made. I feel like Black men, we've been challenged. So let's not just talk fluff. Let's actually show that we can step up and to the finish line and beyond. Like, this is a long-term, and that's why I actually like that it takes 2, 3, 4 months to go through the process, because you do have to filter out those that are not serious. And so I feel this call out to the Black community is time for us to show that we're serious, and then also start to think of how do we groom mentors? Like, what conversations are we having with our young adults, our children that are adults, about our college students, our university students? What are we talking to them about potentially being mentors and leaders in our community? This, I think, can start shifting that conversation. And I love the call to action. So Station, thank you for putting the pressure on the Black men in our community. But again, this spreads to all communities. Like, hey, if the need is here, we have to step up. but this is really a call out to all people about mentoring our youth. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of us step up, and again, being part of that call to action as well. And Station and Barbaro, really appreciate the work that you do, because I know it is heavy. You know, you're hearing conversations from young people that you wish the best for, and they don't have the best circumstances, and you're actually in position to create a great circumstance for them. So I just applaud that, and I feel Dr. Vibe would feel the same. We're here to support anything that you're doing because it's so needed. So I really appreciate this conversation. So thank you for being on the show with us.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
Dr. Tachi says, great take, Ryan. And another thing, and I share this, I don't share it a lot, but it's interesting. More people who don't look like me ask for mentorship than do look like me. I'll just let that settle. Let that settle. And Roger says, just to be clear, I'm currently mentoring a lot of people. So he wants to say that. All right. So it's up on putting it up on the screen. There's a whole pile of information: website, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, X/Twitter. Also, email address, info, Toronto, bigbrothersbigsisters.ca, phone number 416-925-8981. And actually, I have met one of your board of directors, Julie Adam.
Yes.
I know Julie Adam from her days when she's with Karis now, but before that she was with Rogers Sports and Media.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And actually during that conversation, she mentioned Big Brothers Big Sisters and how important it is for her to serve that organization. So that
would love to hear a final call to action from each of you. I don't know, Barbara, if you wanted to start. Like, what is the message that you'd love to give to our audience to stick with them?
About over 40% of the youth that we support are Black youth, and a lot of them tend to age out of our program. We really need Black mentors, Black men specifically, to step in and support these young Black men to create a brighter potential for them.
Station.
How do I follow that? I think just okay. In September, in the community that I was working in, there was 2 homicides. And when I listened to the news at that particular time, this young boy was living in Toronto in the Jane and Weston area. He came up on his own and was staying with his aunt, who his parents were back in St. Lucia. So it was only his aunt thing. And one of his aunt's friends said, she wished she had turned back that day because she was taking her kids to the CNE. And when you think about our model that talks about that third person, the guardian, there's also the intake and support worker, and then this mentor. If this young person was connected to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Toronto and had that fourth sort of person being there, where would have this young man? He probably wouldn't have been dead today. And so I asked for people to think about, let's not wait until we get these news. Let's try to help prevent it by stepping up for the young Black people of Toronto. Our young people deserve it. And as I said, they need it. And for me, who has also mentored many people in my life, if somebody reaches out to me and asks me for mentorship, I always say yes. And so, if it's the Rogers of the world, the Ryans of the world, myself, we can take on so many. You can do just one. And if you say just one, I've always started off my career saying if I could have helped one Black youth, I have done my job. And back in 2016, 16 when I saw a young man walk across the stage after a teacher told him in front of me that she doesn't think that he will tantamount to anything. He won't go to college in front of me. And I saw that. You can also just say, I can be that one. We can all just be that one for a young person. Sign up today. Look at our website. It's BBST Toronto. And follow through. Be committed for the young people of Toronto.
If you're talking, you're on mute.
And four more questions for you. One, Minnie on Cam says, can the mentees rotate mentors?
Typically, no. So once you're matched with a mentee, you're matched with a mentor, we obviously want that relationship to last. Of course, we understand that there may be challenges in the sense that a mentor might move out of the city and be unable to continue to support a mentee in our program. So we will go ahead and match them with a new mentor. But for our one-to-one programming, your mentee is your mentee and your mentor is your mentor. So we're typically looking for one-to-one and not an opportunity for a mentee to switch over to mentors unless necessary.
Okay. And final conversation piece, Ray from the McMillan Group says the 18 to 25 year range is perhaps the most critical period in a young person's life. For those who have aged out of the program, do you have any insight to assist that cohort?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things when we graduate people is also providing them with resources, right? And I think we have a clear focus in who we support, but we look at ensuring that young people are connected to various resources in their communities. You know, in speaking with the outgoing, CEO, she talked about, is there the opportunity to expand our age group? And we're not there right now because we still haven't done great on the youth that we choose to serve, right? And I say because of the wait list. Once a youth is in our program, we do exceptional work in terms of the outcomes that we see for our young people. But we don't want to go down that pathway of adding another cohort where we have not fix the system for the youth that we're currently serving. There are so many great organizations. See for Young Black Professionals that does the 18 to 29 age group. Western Frontline Center, the organization that I did phenomenal work with young people. The YMCA employment centers do great work with youth, employment programs and other supports that young people need. So what I would say for us is, again, it's about ensuring that people are connected in community because we cannot be the only one doing this work. It takes a village to support our young people.
I think that is a great way to end it off. Ladies, thank you so much for probably taking more time than you expected, but our audience is very engaged.
That's good. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you back. And if there's anything we can do to potentially help, if I don't see you, have a happy holiday season and hope to see you at least in February.
Yes. We'll do. We'll send over that information. Thank you, everyone who was here today.
And I must say, you two are a powerhouse.
Yes.
And I'm saying that as a compliment. You two are a powerhouse. So your organization is in good hands as long as they keep both of you there from my lens.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace and happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Take care. All right. Ryan, calling out Roger Dundas. What?
Roger called out himself. He said,
oh my God.
In writing, we have it official on their show that he said he's available. So let's be accountable to each other and get across this finish line. So I'm looking forward to, again, as I'm talking to him, I'm talking to myself. So definitely want to support this.
All right. So what's up for the rest of this week?
this week, as I mentioned, this evening we're doing a graduation for the REST Youth Entrepreneurship Program. So shout out to that team and Dogma, who is the executive director there. The rest of the week is more admin, definitely getting prepared for winter. Black Friday, I think, is this Friday. So we'll see what deals. Maybe we'll put together something for detailing nights. But
okay. All right.
How about yourself? How's the rest of the week looking?
I don't even have too much of a quiet or non-positive productive day. I have some meetings today, have a session I've got to do tonight, and then I feel like I'm putting on my Gala King costume because I'm at a scheduled to be an event Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and doing a sharing session on Saturday morning.
Wow.
The Thursday session is actually, I got invited to something on Thursday. It is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I got sent to me via email yesterday because I try to not do too much email stuff on Sunday, but I got something. Oh, where did it put it? I've been invited to a private dinner.
Okay.
With leaders. And the nice thing is that an organization that I serve asked me if I want to go, and they're paying for my ticket.
Oh, wonderful. Nice.
So it's let's see if I can bring it up on the screen here quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say what the name of the dinner is. I got to confirm that I'm going, but it's an intimate dinner with maximum 12 people. It's about leadership. And they only invite 12 people. It's
different than the CEO Global Group?
Yes, it's different. Okay. So there's an organization I serve on the advisory board, and the CEO of the organization said that they went last year, was amazing. They can't make it this year. Can I go?
Nice.
So I looked at the price. I said, I can't do that. No.
Let me check my couch cushions.
Yes. And they said, no, our company will pay for you to go.
Nice. That's amazing. I love that.
So on Friday, speaking that I'm going to be there Friday, we're going to have some very interesting conversations, as much as I can share of this event, because it's a really, like one of the quotes from last year's dinner says, from a Black gentleman, said, each conversation I engaged was a journey through diverse perspectives, fostering connections that went beyond the usual small talk and delve into meaningful exchanges. The richness of these interactions was a highlight of the evening, showing the true value of bringing together individuals from different walks of life. Yep. So it's it's not cheap to go. Put it that way. And they have the chef right there.
Ooh, amazing.
It's a held it out place, but the chef is right there cooking for you right there while you're chatting.
I love it.
So I'm putting on my Gala King. This is not gala stuff. I don't do galas, but I feel like I'm living Ryan Knight's world for a few days this week.
Right. Yes.
So want to say thank you to everyone who dropped in today. Epic conversation. Really, really good. Really, really good. So before we close out, and on Friday we have Minnie on cam, so she's been making some comments in the comment section, so she'll be here. And so subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Again, thank you everyone for subscribing. Finally over 1,600. Let's go over 1,610. See? Small increments.
Yes.
Advertise your business, product, or service on the show. Email me dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. Join the Discord group. Email me. Let's see. What else do we got? Do we have anything else? Yes. If you want to get a hold of the man on tour, Ryan O'Neill Knight, website, RyanO'NeillKnight.com, LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight, Instagram at Ryan.99. And that's Knight, Knight. Okay? 99, yeah. Have you ever had someone mess up on that?
No, more so if I'm telling it to somebody, they'll say that first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, with a K.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
And work with me at RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Here are all the places you can get a hold of me, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at the DRVIBESHOW, X at DRVIBESHOW, email dr.vibe at the DRVIBESHOW.com. And I'm also fitting this in. I'm on Blue Sky now
Gotcha.
at DRVIBES, period, B Sky at .social. Just my experience so far has been great. I entered into a group and people are following me like crazy, and there's been no toxicity yet.
Gotcha.
And actually, they actually have a hashtag Black Sky. So if anyone goes on to Blue Sky, I would suggest you get into that group. If you need any assistance on how to, I'm just a novice right now, but I'm going to delve in, but I've had really good interaction on Blue Sky.
That's good.
So that's it. And replays, The Morning Vibe, you can catch YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. All right, that's a wrap. We got two last comments quick. First Lady of ACBN, Charmaine Hesse, says, great discussion. Tim Frey, you got to watch a replay, but I got to get in touch with you. I'm going to call you again and leave a message this time. Good to have you. Watch replay. And Dr. Tachi says, thank you, Station and Barbara. They were great.
Yes.
Like, can you imagine you brand new in an organization to run it and you have someone on your team like Barbara? Oh my gosh. She was amazing. All right. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace and watch the replays of some of the stuff I did over the weekend. Some incredible conversations. See you on Friday. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith and walk good.